it's nothing to do with football. And if you do keep doing it, you're showing that you don't really care. You don't really care for the team, you don't care for the support, and you don't care for your club, because the club ultimately are getting fined as well.
Ooh, it's a Gary Neville-sized. Ooh, Brendan Rodgers has blasted his team, his club, his supporters for the Pyro. Welcome back to Fog Football, and I guess we'll reel it in. He's not really blasting the club, he's not really blasting the team, he's blasting certain fans who use Pyro. Alright, now, I recently made a video on this on my own channel because Rangers also have a Pyro problem where the chairman actually came out and started talking about it and said, pretty much echoed what Brendan Rodgers said here. You're not a real fan. You're putting this club in jeopardy. It doesn't belong in football. Right. Yeah. You know what? Does Pyro not belong in football? Aye. See in England and all the other cushy wee safe leagues, aye. But see Pyro. Gets my blood pumped. I like Pyro, right? I mean, it would be hypocritical for me to bash Celtic here and be like, oh, here, Pyro, when 3 days ago when I made the video about Rangers and I was like, oh, Pyro's great. I'm not going to do that, right? Now, some bitter people and narrow-minded and one-dimensional people might come out and turn around and say that, but I'm not going to turn around and say that. I like Pyro. Seeing I see an Old Firm and both sets of supporters have got Pyro, man. To me, that I'm up for it. I'm up for the fucking fight. That makes me think. That makes me love this derby. That makes me get a bit more hyped. Whether we were all sitting there in silence where we half and half scars and getting the scarves and getting, well, I mean, there might be half and half scars as well, but, you know, scarves and getting the wee pictures of it, you know, and come on and celebrate. No. I like the Pyro, but Brendan Rodgers has got stuck into his team, and I think a lot of people are going to turn against him for this because a lot of people are already against the Rangers board, but people are like, oh, they care more about Pyro than getting scudded off Leon. But to sum it up, Celtic boss Brendan Rodgers blasts fans over fireworks. He says they don't care about the club. They don't care about the club. Alright, Brendan, they didn't care about the club. Now let's actually dive in to see how much Celtic were fined for all this, and we'll see how much this will go down. But obviously, I get it, right? See Rodgers and the Rangers board, right? They actually might like Pyro, but they have to turn around and say this. We live in a politically correct world, and it's very PC, and everything's very, you have to say this, so you have to be blah, 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 blah. You have to do this, you have to do that, right? Now, I get it. But I think it's pathetic. See a bit of transparency and actually a bit of the truth, it would go a long way. See if Brendan Rodgers the day came out and went, you know what, yeah, the club's been fined, whatever, €20,000, but you know what, I love the Pyro, I love the display these Celtic fans do home and away, man. You know, it's what makes it special, it's what makes this club special, it adds to it, the atmosphere. See if Brendan Rodgers came out and said that, you know what, I would offer Brendan Rodgers my hand and be like, you know what, fair play, Brendan, because you didn't fucking bottle it. But it turns out he has bottled it. But that's what I mean. The managers of yesteryear are gone. You know what I mean? Where they actually would have had the fucking balls to step up to this. Philip Clement, Baldy Dome, is probably trembling in fear about getting a question asked like this now. I know he talked about Ryan Kent today, but I don't know if he actually went on to speak about Pyro, but Brendan Rodgers did, so hence the video. But the Scottish champions land at a UEFA fine of €20,000 and a suspended probationary away supporters ban. Further action will result in the Hoops being without their fans on the road in Europe, with big Champions League clashes on the horizon like Aston Villa in a Battle of Britain showdown. The club themselves also issued a loud and clear message to the fan base, with now boss Rodgers giving his take during a press conference ahead of the weekend's top table clash with Aberdeen. Now obviously I've already read this out. I mean, what just pisses me off, I mean, imagine actually like issuing bans. You know what I mean? Like actually, like you're not allowed any supporters in because you let off a couple of pyrotechnics. I mean, fucking hell! How pathetic is football becoming, troops, man? It's actually sad. It's pathetic, man. That's what Brendan Rodgers, though, the full dialect between him and the media today. He said, I really hope so. We don't need the pyrotechnics for great support. The support that we get home and away is absolutely incredible. We can't let that type of behaviour dictate whether fans can maybe be in the position of not attending a game, because that's not fair. It's not right. People have followed Celtic home and away for years and years and years, should never be getting banned. As I said, the support is incredible, and that is not something that we need. We're not a club that needs to ignite our support base. What we bring to a stadium in colour and noise is absolutely amazing. I hope that this does end, because it wouldn't be right for any of our supporters to miss a game. End of quote. But does no one see the hypocrisy here, right? We know, obviously, Scottish football, Rangers and Celtic, it's the biggest rivalry in the world, man. It is, and I don't care what anybody says, right? There is hatred, there is sectarianism, there is everything in it, right? But it's like Brendan Rodgers here's having a go at the pyrotechnics. A couple of guys bringing in a bit of pyro, right, for a football match. But then he's turned around and saying, oh, what we bring to the stadium in colour and noise is absolutely amazing. But couldn't you technically dissect the noise part and be like, well, actually, Brendan, that's not particularly true, because you chant your fans who are at away games chant about the IRA and that Lizzie's in a box. I mean, you could dissect everything, you know what I mean? But that's what makes the rivalry. As much as I disagree with singing about those two things, Celtic fans on the flip side will disagree about Rangers singing about other paramilitary groups, you know what I mean? And whoever's died, I mean, Alex Salmon, what's going to happen this weekend if they do a minute's silence, you know what I mean? That's just what we live in Scottish football. So see this whole thing about, pyrotechnics are bad, but everything that we sing at a game is perfectly fine. It's fucking. Does no one see the logic here? The madness. It's crazy. How can Brendan Rodgers have a go for a couple of guys with a bit of pyro, but it's but everything we sing at a game is great. You know what I mean? And there is I could open a whole can of worms about what Rangers fans sing and what about Celtic fans sing, alright, and other clubs sing. But to me, it's all a wee bit hypocritical. It's incredibly hypocritical. Anyway. He was asked, would it be a real shame if supporters, for example, missed out on the Battle of Britain clash with Aston Villa? Well, technically, it's not a Battle of Britain, because Aston Villa aren't champions. He said, whatever it is, we can't afford for that to happen. If it does, then it's a total minority of our support. It's as simple as that. Our support is incredible, where it travels and what it gives us. We just need to make sure we draw a line on that, and we just come with the banners and with the noise and the colour, and that will give us a great chance on the field. End of quote. But again, He's hinting so much at the fact that it's the minority with the pyrotechnics. We all know, man. See when they're like, clap your hands, you hate the royal family, or Rangers singing, we're up to our knees and, Fenian blood and things like that. See when see at the stadiums, right? See this, it's the minority. It's like, see when it's pyro, it actually isn't that many people. See songs, I mean, you're talking about thousands of Rangers and Celtic fans joining in, man. You are. So, can no one actually break this down and look at how this painting pyro in such a bad light is fucking pathetic? Now, what you could argue, well, that's just words, that's just songs. Pyro can actually cause a threat to somebody's life. Yeah, you could argue that, and you know what? I'd half accept it. But for me, it's pathetic. Pyro should be allowed, folks. Alright? And I get it. Even if you limited the pyro, people, the Union Bears, the Green Brigade, whatever, they're going to go above and beyond to bring more pyro in. But for me, I don't like it. This whole, let's actually ban a whole group of away supporters, man. It's pathetic. And yeah, it is what it is. But hopefully people agree with me. If you don't, well, leave it down in the comments down below that you don't. But I think people will see my logic, man. It's I don't think you can praise the noise they do, it's amazing, it's brilliant, everything we do when we're singing's fantastic, but then it's is it really, Brendan? Is it really? But a couple of wee bits of pyro is fucking, you're Hitler, man. It's a load of shite. Anyway, till next time, peace.